Hi, this is Crissy from Crissy Crochet. Today's project is going to be a coaster. We're going to make this pretty little coaster that's about 5.5 inches across, and I'm going to be using hooked ribbon XL, and this is 80% cotton, and it's recycled, and this has also 20% other recycled fibers. And it's a very nice yarn to use for baskets and coasters and hot pads and so forth. We're going to need, of course, the ribbon. We're going to also need a tapestry needle. We're going to need a pair of scissors and, of course, our hook. And the hook that I'm using today is an NR, which is 10 millimeters, which is the recommended hook size for this particular yarn. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to use the yellow yarn so that it will show up better. And we're going to start this like the base of my country basket that I have a video on my YouTube channel. So we're going to make a magic circle first. I have my yarn laid across my fingers. I'm going to make an X. I'm going to turn. I'm going to pick up this first strand, pick up the back one, twist, and come up on the upper side and pick up the other side of it and pull through. And that's going to make your magic circle. Okay, tighten it up a little bit, straighten it up a little bit, and we are going to put 6 single crochets in this circle. So to make a single crochet, go into your loop, and you're going to yarn over, pull up the yarn. You have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both. And you need to do this loosely. All right, let's do another one. Go into the magic circle, yarn over, come up, yarn over, pull through both loops. All right, then we're going to do another one. Go into the ring, yarn over, bring your loop up, pull through. All right, we're going to do 3 more. And now we should have 6. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 single crochets. Tighten by pulling the tail of your yarn. Okay, and now we're going to have to fasten this side, of course, to finish making the circle. And what we're going to do is make this loop a little bit bigger. We're going to come over to this side, and from the back side, I'm going to go under the top 2 loops in my single crochet. I'm going to take the loop, put it over my hook, and then I'm just going to pull that through like that. Okay. Now, we're going to start doing knit stitches or waistcoat stitches. In my basket video, I call them V-stitches, but actually there is another stitch that's also known as the V-stitch. So to me, this is kind of a basket V-stitch, but technically it's called the knit or the waistcoat stitch. You're going to go between where these 2 stitches come together, and if you'll push a little bit from the back, you'll see that you've got your V there, and it opens up. And what you're going to do is put your needle right through here. Just take and push right through. And this first row, it's a little bit harder because the stitches are tighter and it'll get looser as you go. Once you do that, put your working yarn over between the loop and your hook. Then take your loop and you're going to pull it through like that. All right, now you're going to chain one there, and that'll finish that stitch. We are going to put 2 of the knit stitches in each of the spaces around. So we're going to put a second one right here in the same place as the first one. Okay, so that's our second one. Then we're going to go over here, and you're going to go into this next space, and you just go between where the V, it's like there's 2 legs there. Go through and pull your yarn through, yarn over and pull through. All right, then do the second one in that place. All right, now we have 4 so far. So let's just keep going. Okay, I'm on my last one, so I'll put 2 in this very last space. Okay, there's 1 and 2. Okay, and then we are going to do a basic invisible join. So all we have to do, we'll leave this loop a little bit longer. We're going to come like we did a while ago. We're going to go over to this side, go from the back to the front, picking up the 2 loops, the top 2 loops. Take your loop and pull through. All right, now if we count our stitches, we should have 12. So I'm going to start with this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And where we made that one across made our 12th one. Okay, so that is the second row. Now we're going to do the third row. In the third row, we are going to put 1 knit stitch between those 2 stitches. And in the next one, we're going to put 2. Then we're going to put 1, and then we're going to put 2. And we're going to do that all the way around. Okay? So you're doing every other one. So start with the first one, and if you'll look closely, where this loop comes out, there is, if you go just a little bit to the left, is where those 2 join, and that's where we go through. So we're going to put 1 here. So, and make sure that this yarn is between your hook and your loop. Okay, then pull that one through, chain 1. All right, then we're going to go to the next one, and we're going to do 2 here. 1, then 2. The next one, 1. The next one, 2. And then right on around using that pattern. 1 and then 2. Now we're back around, and we need to put 2 in this last space. So let's go right in there. And we're going to put 2. Okay, now that will end row 3. All right, so we're going to pull our yarn up a little bit. Again, go over here, go underneath those 2 top stitches from back to front. Take your loop, put it over your hook, pull it up. Okay, and then if you've got a hole in the middle there, you can tighten that up some more if you need to make that not have as much opening. All right, so that's our 3rd row. Now our 4th row, you're going to do 1, 1, 2. Okay, and that's the pattern. So again, go through this first one and to get started. Go right through the middle, pull your yarn over, pull your loop over your hook, pull through, chain 1. All right, in this next one, put 1. Now do 2. And I'll meet you back where we join. Okay, we're back around and we're ending row 4. So we have one more place here to put 2 stitches, 2 knit stitches. There's 1 and 2. And if you've noticed, if you'll start out with the pattern each time, we end up with our 2 at the end. All right, and I'm going to pull that loop out. We're going to take our hook, go from back to front, picking up the 2 loops, going through with this one and pulling up. Okay, so now if you want to, let's count around this. If you like to count all the stitches, we'll see how many we have here, which I will put in the video. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, and then that one right there is 24, and that would be correct. On the last row, we should have had 18. And if you'll remember, on the row before that, we had 12. So that's correct. And if you don't come out with the 2 that goes into the 1 space, then you know that you have something a little bit wrong in your circle. All right, now we're going to do the 5th row. This project is basically, it's 6 rows, and then we're going to do some slip stitching. But this will be the last row of the knit stitches. All right, let's go through. And again, just always keep that, when you pull this back through, the loop back through, make sure that you keep that working yarn between the hook and the loop. Pull up and then chain 1 to finish that one. So this one is row 5. So it's the pattern's 1, 1, 1, and then 2 together. Well, if you'll notice after we got started, if you add up 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2, that's 5. And look, we're starting row 5. So this was 1 row, 2, 3, 4. This will make the 5th row. So your pattern total numbers will add up to the row that you're on. And you always end the pattern with 2 together. And then the next row, you're going to add 1 more single one, ending up with the 2. So if you were doing row 6, it's going to be 1, 1, 1, 1, and then 2. And of course, those numbers add up to be 6. So that helps you to keep up with it. So if I forget where I'm at, I count my rows, and then I know that everything's going to be 1 in each place except the last one, which will be 2, and it will add up to the row number that I'm on. So since this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, again, it's going to be 1. We did 1. Let's do a second one. There's 2, and then there's the 3rd, and then 2 and 1. The last one's always going to be 2 in the last one. Now, let me mention this too, just for your information. I kind of like to understand why the crocheting works the way that it does. And when you do your increases to keep this flat, you're not going to put 2 on top of where you've already put 2. So as we started this, we have 1, 2, 3. Okay, well, there's just one single one there that we're going to put 2 in. Okay, so and then we'll go on over. But you don't want for your doubles to be on top of where you've already got a double. That will change the circle into a different shape. So we have 3 there, and then we're going to put 2. 1, 2, and then we're going to do the 3 again. 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and just, you know, showing you what I was talking about. All right, see right there, that's a single one. So we're going to put 2 in there for the final one for the pattern. So we'll do the 2. Okay, you can continue going on around until we get ready to fasten this together and do the same pattern, 1, 1, 1, and then 2. Here at the end of row 5, we're ready to put the 2 stitches in that last space. So there's 1 and 2. And that will get all of our stitches for row 5. And we're going to do the same method. Go over to the left, pick up those 2 loops. And right here, there's one that curves, so never get that one. Always get the one on top, because this one makes that last stitch when you close it right here. Okay, so there is 5 rows. We're going to put another row, and what we're going to do is we're going to switch back, and we are going to single crochet around it instead of doing the knit stitch. All right, in the space, in that loop, we're going to go, no, this is the front one, this one's the back one. We're going to go in the back, right in the middle of it, go underneath the little hump behind it, okay, and then put your yarn, put your loop, and pull through, just like we've been doing, except this time we'll be in between, if you can see, between those 2 the loop there. Okay, now we're going to chain 1 there to finish that one, and we're going to use the back loop only, and we're going to go still around doing the patterns that we've been doing. Now, if you were getting ready to turn this into a basket, which is what I did in the other video, in the basket video, you would only be doing 1 stitch in each of the stitches, but we're going to stick with the pattern plan. So for row 6, we're going to have 1, 1, 1, 1, and then 2 together, and that will keep our work flat. Otherwise, you would be starting the walls of a basket. Okay, so this is row 6, so our pattern's going to be 1, 1, 1, 1, and then 2 together. You're going to have 4, and then 2. All right, so there's the first one, and we'll just turn this kind of sideways so we can see, and just go in the middle using the back loop only, pick up the little, underneath the little hump there, go through, pull through, and you're just going to do a single crochet. Go into the next one, right in the middle, go under the little loop, little hump place, then come through and pull up. All right, and then again. Okay. Okay, let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we're going to put 2 in this same one. And this is, we're still increasing. And again, this is going to keep this flat. Okay, like that. All right, let's do this again. We're going to do 1. Okay. 1. 1, and then get this one. Okay, it's wanting to be hard to get along with. All right, get that one, and one more. And now we're going to put 2 in the next one. So we're going to do the same thing, except after we get the 1 done, we're going right back into that same place, and we're going to put another one. Now, I'll lay this down where you can see. This is going to make a little edging right here, and then we've changed the stitch a little bit here. And so we're going to use this same pattern all the way around. And again, you'll do 1, 1, 1, 1, and then 2, because this is row 6. So when you get back over here to where we're going to join, I'll meet you back. When you get back around to the end of the 6th row, before you do those last 2 single crochets, you need to be careful right here. This kind of looks like all one side of your stitch, but if you'll work through the middle there, you have your front and your back loops right there. And it's easy to just pick that whole thing up, which would change the look of your little pattern around it. So you're going to want to make sure you get the back loop there. Okay, and let me put this back on. Okay, so go through and then go on back. Okay, and then put 2 right there. 1 and 2. Okay. Now, at this point, we're going to stop and we're going to estimate the amount that it takes to go around our coaster so that we don't have to cut our yarn. So what we're going to do is just take our yarn and we're going to go around it approximately 5 times. So just go around it. There's 1. I just do this loosely. If you have a little extra, it's okay. There's 2. Okay. 3. 4. So we want to do at least 5 times. So sometimes I'll leave a little extra, and I just about always have a little bit left. What we're going to do is pull the loop out right here. Okay, just pull it all the way through. All right. Okay, and then we're going to use, we can use either a tapestry needle and thread it through and pull it through, or you could use the needle that you're using, but sometimes I use one that's just a little bit smaller here. And I'm going to go from front to back like we've been doing, except this time we're going to pull the yarn all the way through. So whatever you use, it's just to get it through that first loop that where you're joining. Basically, we're just doing, we're making this last stitch. So if you'll look right here, all right here's where it goes. Okay, we put it there, and we put it into this stitch here. All right, and then if you pull it, and I'll straighten that out just a little bit so it'll look nice. Okay, we're going to go right back in to right there to finish it. See, this would complete it if you'll pull it to there. So it's going to go right down in there and under that little, the little knot each place. So this one, I'll just do it this one using the needle. You can use the needle for both, or you can use your hook for both. I'll just show you this way too. So you just put that in there to make that last stitch. Okay, so see, so this way you really can't tell where your stitch started and where it ended. Now, if you like that look, then you could stop your coaster there. But, of course, you wouldn't want it to, you know, use the yarn to go around it. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to slip stitch around the whole thing. Now, that loose one, the one where you just made, that's loose, it's kind of looser. We want to go over to the next one right there. See, this is the one we made. And, well, actually, yeah, that one right there would be fine, as long as you don't use the one that you made. All right, we're going to go in there. We're going to pick our yarn up and pull through. Okay, like that. And then we're going to start slip stitching. So we're going to go through, that's the one we made, and then you pull back through. Now you're not single crocheting, you are slip stitching. So you go through the 2 top loops, pull your yarn through, and then pull it through again, okay? Like that. So we'll just do that. And we're going to do that all the way around. We're going to slip stitch around the outer edge of it. And it'll make a little bit of a more finished look. I think you'll like to finish it off. So just right on around. And I'll meet you back and show you how to fasten it together. Okay, we have slip stitched around our outer edge, and this is what it looks like before you finish your last stitch. So that this stitch in here looks the same, and you can't tell where you start and begin. Pull the rest of your yarn through, okay, and if you'll look, what we're going to do is make the loop like this. So normally this one that we're getting ready to do should go in this one here. So again, you can use your needle, or you can use your crochet hook. We're going to go right under those 2 right in the front, right there. Okay. And then we're going to pull our yarn through, and that's the first part. You might want to straighten it out a little bit so that it looks very similar to the others. Okay, then we are going to come back over, and this one needs to go back so that it loops back in kind of like that. So we'll want to go right in here, and what I'm going to do is go through all the way to the back. Okay, right there, and then just go all the way to the back and pull that through. Okay, alrighty, and then you tighten that up a little bit. Okay, then it looks like all the rest of them. All right, turn over. And we need to work in our ends. And this one, since I cut it off a little bit too long, I'm going to snip off part of it right here. I want to leave plenty enough, but there's no use to work with the extra because you're not going to need all that to work in. Okay, and when I'm using this type of yarn that you can't really go in and out of the yarn when it's more solid, and you can't pull it all the way through, a lot of times I back up with the end of my tapestry needle. So what I'm going to do is just like right here, I'm going to go right in there and get it started down away from the edge of it. And we're just going to hide our ends and fasten it to where it looks good. Let's see if that looks okay there before we leave it. Yes, I think we're good. All right. And then, like I said, you can go forward with it, but sometimes you'll catch and then you'll have to take it loose. So I just back. I go here, then I back into where I want to pull through at, and just do that. Just pull it through. Okay. And you just want to fasten it to where you think it'll stay. Of course, this way you have to rethread your needle, but I don't mind doing that. All right, so this one I'm going to go a little bit farther. I'm going to jump down here just a little bit, but just the way that you feel comfortable and that you feel like that you are tucking that piece of yarn in good. All right, so I'm going to go one way, and then I'll go back the other way. And this type of yarn too, you can, to make it easier to thread, if you're threading it, you can cut it at an angle, and that helps too as you thread it. But I'm going to do it this way. Okay. So I'm going to come out right there and pull it through. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this off. Then we need to do our center one. It's already in there pretty tight. So I'll angle this one. And you just need to make sure you don't come out on the other side as you're pulling this through. You sure don't want a odd stitch on the front side. Okay, when you feel like that you have it in securely, just clip off the rest of the tail. Okay. So now we have a pretty little coaster that's a little larger than standard. Would be great to put a bowl of soup on, put your mug of coffee or hot chocolate or tea. It has a pretty little edge here before you get completely finished with it. And then this rim is a little bit thicker with a very nice edge. Hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you like it, please click like and subscribe to my channel. See you next time.